Hi, and thank you so much for joining me on such a glorious weather day today. There is so much misinformation out there about headaches, migraines, what to do when you've got one and how to prevent them, that today we're going through 5 of the most common headaches and migraine myths and how to debunk them and what you should actually do when you've got a headache or migraine. So that's what we're going through today. Hi, I'm Dr. Beth, Osteopath here at Melbourne Headache Solutions. So particularly with the weather getting warmer, it's so nice out there today. With the weather getting warmer, then one of the most common things that we start to hear all throughout the year, but as I said, particularly with the weather getting warmer, is, but I drink so much water and I'm still getting a migraine. So with patients that are coming into my office, sitting in my chair, sometimes it feels like the patients are drowning themselves in water. They're drinking liters and liters and liters of water, yet I still have a headache, I still have a migraine. So what is it about water? What is it about hydration that people think is going to fix their headaches or migraines? It is absolutely true that you do need to stay hydrated, and that dehydration can lead to a headache and that it can lead to a migraine. But for people who are drinking a lot of water and staying hydrated, simply drinking water is not going to get rid of your headache. It is not going to get rid of your migraine. Okay, but also it is about the levels of water that you're drinking and as well as your electrolyte balance. So you notice for sports people, they don't just simply drink water, they're making sure that their electrolytes are also in balance. So they drink sports drinks as well. So making sure that their salt levels are up to scratch as well. Because if you are dehydrated and you just drink water, sometimes you can make yourself even more dehydrated. So if you are concerned that water is a problem for you, you're going to have other signs and symptoms as well. So your hair's going to be looking flat, okay? It's not going to have that shine, it's not going to have that luster. Your eyes are also going to be looking at lackluster as well. And your skin, it doesn't matter how much moisturizer you put on your skin, it's also going to start feeling patchy, scratchy, scaly, and dry as well. You can also do a pinch test for your skin. So going with the back of your hand, you pinch your skin up and you see how quickly it takes for it to rebound back. So if your skin, like mine, snaps back really quickly, you're hydrated, you're fine. If, however, when you pinch it, it slowly returns to normal, you're dehydrated. So you need to increase your hydration levels. So it could be contributing to your headaches and migraines. But for most people, when they've initiated a headache or a migraine, water isn't going to fix it. So you don't need to worry about trying to drown yourself with water. Because the amount of times I've heard people go, but I got a headache or a migraine, and but I was drinking water and it didn't get rid of it. It's not going to, unfortunately. If it was the case, that would be amazing, but it's not, unfortunately, okay? So, but as I said, keeping your electrolytes in balance is also important. So having things like hydrolyte on hand is also important, particularly coming into the warmer weather. The second thing, caffeine. Caffeine plays a really interesting role in regards to headaches and migraines. And a lot of headache and migraine sufferers are really afraid of caffeine. And that's because they've heard that it's a trigger. Now, for some people, it really is. So, with caffeine, it's actually about the amount of caffeine. Caffeine, when taken with medication, can actually make it absorb a lot quicker. And for some people, if they have 1 coffee, they're okay. But if they have 2 coffees, they're not, and it acts as a trigger. So it's more about the amount of caffeine and finding your appropriate level that is the trigger or is the key to caffeine. So caffeine is not actually the devil when it comes time for headaches and migraines. It's about finding the appropriate levels and what suits you. So if you've cut out all coffee or all chocolate from your diet, it might not necessarily be the case. Play around with it, see what works, see what doesn't. And if it does turn out that it's a trigger, absolutely cut it out, because it'll make your journey a lot easier. But if not, it might be finding that fine balance. And as I said, if you're taking pain medication, sometimes you find that taking it with caffeine can actually make it absorb quicker and can actually stave off a headache or migraine, because certain pain medications like Panadol Extra actually has caffeine in it as well. And things like Caffeine that had caffeine in it as well, and that's exactly why it has caffeine with it. So the other thing is, the third myth, when you've got a migraine, everybody goes, you just want to lie down, you just want to not move and rest until it passes. For a majority of headache and migraine sufferers, they have a major neck component. Over 80% of people have a major neck component to their headaches and migraines. So what happens when you lie down and when you don't move, particularly if a migraine is lasting for 24, 48, 72 hours? It doesn't move, it stiffens up, it locks up. And basically those joints in your neck, which are contributing or causing your headaches and migraines, are getting more stiff. They're getting more stuck. And it's not going to help your migraine resolve any quicker. So for those people that get nausea and get vomiting with their migraines, you certainly don't want to be sitting up. You don't want to be moving a lot. I completely understand that. But when you have your lesser periods during your migraines, of your lesser intensity, because they do tend to fluctuate a little bit, as often as possible, you do want to try to sit up and you do want to try to move your neck, okay? So periodically. So whatever movements you find comfortable, okay? So going around in circles, okay? So nice and slowly, nothing fast, or going from side to side, ear from side to side, nodding up and down. If any of these motions make you nauseous, then skip that one, but whatever you find comfortable. And so usually the average time that I would recommend would be every hour to every hour and a half. So there is nothing wrong with lying down when you've got a migraine, absolutely nothing wrong with lying down, but we want to encourage these joints to move, because the more they move, the more likely it is that you're going to get over your migraine quicker, which is exactly what we want to do. We want to pass that migraine quicker. But if we allow the joints to stiffen up, the migraine is going to stay there for a longer period of time. So encourage that movement, encourage it to pass. That's what we want to do. So lie down for an hour, but then every hour, hour and a half, get up, do some neck specific movements, do it for about 5 minutes, and then lie back down again, okay? So that's number 3. The fourth one is, I've always been headachy, I've always been migrainey, so I'm gonna be a headache and migraine sufferer for the rest of my life. That is absolutely not true. You do not have to be a headache or migraine sufferer for the rest of your life. I am living proof. So I had chronic daily headaches, which is basically a category that basically just means that I had pain for more than 15 days per month, okay? And for me, I had pain all day, every day. And we see a lot of patients like this in the clinic. And so we hear stories all the time with patients that say, I've been told at a young age, or at any age really, but particularly young ages, that this is just something that I'm gonna have to learn to deal with. I'm just gonna have to learn to manage this. Now that is something terrible to be told. You're just gonna have to learn to manage this and deal with this. What kind of outlook is that? For most people, if it's a musculoskeletal problem, meaning that it's coming from the neck, it's a physical injury that can be treated, okay? So if you've got an ankle sprain, if you've got a lower back injury, this is something that can be physically treated and rehabilitated. And that's what we're talking about with headaches and migraines, when they're coming from the neck. For a lot of people, they have other components as well. So they've got a gut issue, they've got a dietary issue. Stress and anxiety can certainly play into it as well. And for some people, we've got to find the right combination, the right bits and pieces to fit together to create the right puzzle. And then we put it all together, and that's when we find the right outcome as well. So just because you've had your problem for a while, or just because you've had headaches and migraines and you've been diagnosed with them, doesn't mean that you're going to have them for the rest of your life, okay? There can be the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's what we're always aiming for. Which leads me to myth number 5. I've tried everything. I've had my headaches and migraines for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and I've tried absolutely everything, and that there's nothing left for me to try. Yes, there is. For most headache and migraine sufferers, most of the treatments that they have tried have just been aimed at treating the current headache or migraine. They're not actually preventative treatments. So they only treat the headache or migraine that you've currently got. So most painkillers, for example, are the perfect thing, are the perfect example So you take a painkiller when you've got a migraine, and it might be amazing. It might absolutely get rid of that migraine. But what does it do to stop the next migraine from coming? Or alternatively, it works okay, you might function all right, or it might be a bit hit and miss, or it does nothing. But as I said, it actually doesn't do anything for the next migraine coming on. So then you get the next one, and you get the next one, and you get the next one. And that's what most migraine treatments do. The treatment style that we do here, we actually work to try to prevent the next migraine from coming on, which means that the one following that is also prevented, and so forth and so on. Because we don't want to just stop this one that's happening, we want to stop the next one as well. So even if you've been suffering for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, there is definitely that light at the end of the tunnel. So if you've got any other myths, any other questions in regards to headaches, migraines, anything that you've heard, any kind of questions that you've got in regards to headaches and migraines, drop them below. I'd love to hear about them, and I will certainly tell you, yes, that's going to be helpful, no, that's not going to be helpful, or a modification of the sorts. So let me know, drop them below, and I will certainly get back to you. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you enjoyed this gorgeous day outside. Thanks guys, and I will catch you next time.